So welcome back. This is our full-size Proton Pack build part 2. We're using a fiberglass shell with 3D printed parts. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. This is the 3D printed Cyclotron. It was printed in 2 parts, so here, I already sanded down the surface. Now, you can see that using crazy glue, I was able to attach both parts. Then, I used wood filler to put a thin coat on top of the sanded 3D printed area. I'm holding together both parts so the crazy glue has time to cure, that way it's going to be more solid. After, I added a second coat of wood filler. This cyclotron really looks like a birthday cake now. While it dries, I'm going to start working on the bumper. Here I have both pieces glued together. You can see the 3D print was not the best, but don't worry. We will wet sand all the edges to make them smooth. Make sure to use a thin sandpaper and carefully work on those edges. Take your time doing this, you won't regret it. To get rid of this 3D printed lines, I will use this brand of wood filler. The idea is to apply it in small amounts, then you can use your finger to spread the paste, and you can wet your fingers a little bit to mold the paste to the shapes you want. This will make the piece even smoother. Now we need to let it dry overnight so we can sand it again. Here you can see the cyclotron. I already sanded down the wood filler and I applied some gray filler primer and sanded that down. This is the bumper and I'm testing how it fits now that it has a coat of wood filler. I'm using a rotary tool to make a hole on the fiberglass shell. This is where the electronics will be stored, and always be careful using very sharp tools. Now that the bumper is dry, it's time to sand it, prime it, and paint it. And this is the final result. Here is the booster tube. It was divided in 2. I glued them together using GB Weld. It's a 2-part epoxy that is super strong. Then I covered the union with wood filler. Then sanded it out and primed using filler. Then sanded it and then I painted it. This is a second sanding I did to the cyclotron, making sure there is no dust left. I'm using compressed air to get rid of the dust. Here is the primed HGA. I'm adding welding lines using super glue but in gel form. It works better in my opinion for this small piece. Carefully, you follow the motion like I'm doing in this video, and once it dries, it will look like a metal welded line. You will see it painted in part 3 of this series. Using JB Weld, I glued the cyclotron to the shell. I did this before painting the pack. Now I will use spray paint flat black to give my pack some color before the texture. Now that it's ready, we'll leave the pack alone overnight so it dries and the paint cures perfectly. I masked out some parts where I will glue other pieces. This way the glue will harden directly in the shell and not in the paint. While the pack is drying, we 3D printed some cone-shaped pieces that will hold the red lights inside the cyclotron. These took 1 hour to print, each. And this is the final result. Unfortunately, I did not record this part, but I masked some areas of the pack that I did not want to texturize, and using truck bed coating I applied 2 layers evenly. I used the same brand of paint so it adheres perfectly. There's a little spot in the Cyclotron that it did not sand smoothly, but since that will be covered by the bumper, it doesn't bother me too much. Now I will be removing all the masking. For some reason I find this part very relaxing, like I could watch this for hours. Putting the tape was super boring and long, but removing it is so satisfying. Always work with reference photos, guys. Here it is, my pack so far. We're almost there. I drilled the booster frame too high, so I will need to lower it down a bit. I will cover the holes with wood filler, sand, and then repaint the tube, and reposition the frame. Oh well, this stuff happens. So please let me know in the comments what you think of my pack so far. Give it a like and wish me luck when I try to attach it to the motherboard and the Alice frame, because I have no idea how I'm going to do that. Thanks for watching. See ya. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss our other videos.